Welcome back from that break. If you just joined us, this is still Good Morning Abuja on the Unity Station NTA Channel 5 Abuja. On to my first conversation on the program today, I have with me someone that will be of interest to you, and together we'll be talking about an interesting topic. I have with me Senator Eze Ajoku. He is the president, Coalition of Societies for the Rights of Older Persons. And we're going to be discussing the NAIRA swap as it concerns older persons in Nigeria. Sir, you're welcome to Good Morning Abuja studio.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yes, happy to have you. So we're talking about the NAIRA swap as it affects older persons. I see you're the president of Coalition of Societies for the Rights of Older Persons in Nigeria. So far, like, I think the information was passed across towards the end of last year, telling us when the Naira will be swapped and all that, and how people should prepare. So since it started, like, so many people have different reactions to this Naira swap of a thing, and I don't know how it affects our economy. Let me relate it now to older persons in Nigeria. How has it been able, like, I know it's a good policy, but how is it supposed to like affect our economy?
Well, the Naira swap is a very good policy.
Okay.
And countries should do that once they find that there are issues with their monetary policy.
Okay.
The only problem we've had with this is that there hasn't been enough time to enable people to understand it and to take action. It's been within the last 3 months.
Okay.
And a program of this nature should take a longer period. We have had different excuses and reasons for its rush right now. And I think what government is probably doing is very good. But the question is, how has it affected the citizenry? Every policy of government should benefit the people. The people are the beneficiaries of all policies made by those they have elected. And that is the issue here. You can imagine what is happening with people who are young. The struggles they are going through to get 2,000 naira. Drive around all the banks right now. You see crowds of young people. What about the old people? I'm not talking about enlightened old people like me who can make transfers, who understand what is transfer. I'm talking about the rural older persons. Some don't have a bank account. Their bank account is under their pillow or somewhere within the walls of their house. What is happening to them? Right now in the rural areas, older persons are at a loss.
Okay, so sir, sorry to cut you. Like, being the president now of this society, have you been able to reach out to, maybe, I don't know, like, you are the enlightened one, like you're one of the enlightened ones. There might be something you could do as in your position, like either going to actually network with them to find out their challenges, and maybe, if possible, prefer a permanent or temporary solution for now.
Yes, the Coalition of Societies for the Right of Older Persons is made up of about 150 organizations throughout this country, working with older persons in Nigeria, doing different things. Some are into care, visiting them to look after their health. Some are, teaching one aspect of aging to ensure that they age right, they eat right, and they do that. Some, are, in homes where older persons are kept. Some are doing one aspect of the order of issues with NGOs and CSOs that affect older persons. Now, what we have directed our members is, one, first of all, to educate them. About last week, I was on Armed Forces Radio. We are calling on our members and older persons and children to let their parents know about the Naira swap. When I came back from home, from Christmas, I had to call my mother, who is 104 years old,
Wow.
and say, Mama, try and spend all your money before the end of
Is it for her to spend or to get someone to put in an account for her?
So that how much has she got to be able to put in an account? That at least will she now start banking? You know, understand one thing.
Okay.
Older persons like their independence, which they have enjoyed through life.
Yes. Okay.
And now if they have to depend on someone to take their money to the bank, to bring their money, one, they cannot trust 100% that that person will do whatever they want. Two, some younger people will take advantage of them. All right? So you find that some of these older persons in the communities are, look, some are wishing, say, why am I alive to see all this confusion now? You know? They are even wondering what is going to happen tomorrow. Because now some of them have money, they cannot use it. Some have money in the bank. Older persons are used to going and writing check and collecting money over the counter. Yeah. Now, that is not possible for them to do that now. Many of them are not IT savvy. They don't understand what you are calling mobile distance. They don't understand transfers. Even some older persons who are educated, of my age, I'm going to be 76, don't know about transfer. They don't even do transfers. They still believe in their traditional check writing and sending somebody to the bank. So you can imagine what life is for the average older person now. And you find that what we have done, like you asked, is to try, one, let them know that there's going to be a change. Many older persons were not aware. Wow. Many rural areas, you know, older persons get their information not through television, not through social media. Many of them get it through radios. And Central Bank did not utilize radio in their publicity. They may have used other agencies, but they have not utilized radio effectively. The average older person in some areas, you see him carrying his radio and listening to it. All right? Whereas a lot has been done by Central Bank using the National Orientation Agency and other organizations. They have not tried to look at community-based information sources to make sure that everyone in rural areas are aware. And there are rural areas without bank. Where you have to travel many miles to get there. The question is, what should the older person do right now? He cannot go out because he has no money, no new money to transport himself. He cannot buy food. He cannot, you know, buy his medication. Because some of them with pre-existing conditions of diabetes, hypertension, have to buy their medicine. And they don't have the cash. They can't send anybody. Even their children don't have it. Their sons and daughters don't have the new NAIRA note.
Okay, so many people blamed bank officials, saying they were sabotaging the government, like government policy, like maybe this cash is actually available and they are trying to sabotage this policy that has been made. What do you think should have been done differently?
Well, in my opinion, if government had given them enough, then they should have made it possible for people to use the different, not only POS, not only ATM, but their checks. People can easily go to their banks and pick up, and they tell us the quantity of money we'll pick up at any particular time, and we'll just come and pick it up, which will be enough for you to travel during the week, which will be enough for you to eat. And then everybody can gradually, you know, get towards, you know, transfers and all that. But this whole thing has been rushed. And the banks are claiming that they do not have enough to give. I saw a social media, whether it's true or not, last night, that a particular politician had over 50, is it 50 million or 50 billion of it in his house. I mean, if that is so, it then means that the banks must have had enough and they have cornered all the money to those who they have interest in. But we don't know which is the truth. All right?
I'm also thinking maybe if these banks actually had provisions for, like, had the mind of older persons in mind, they would have had provision. Because now you find long queues, no provision of either someone with illness or a sick person or an older person.
That is exactly what I am soliciting for. Okay. That the banks should provide a counter for older persons and those with disabilities. Just one counter only for them. The problem is, how did they get into the bank? Will they rush outside again? All right? So you then find that the bank should deploy a community-based approach to resolving some of these problems. They should target people who are 60 years and above, who are their customers, and see what they can do for them so that they can get this money into their hands.
Okay, so the program will continue. We have so much to talk about, but we'll go for a short break, and after that, the program continue. We'll be having a wonderful and interesting conversation with Senator Eze Ajoku, and he would continue after this time out. Okay, the program is still Good Morning Abuja, and I still have with me here Senator Eze Ajoku. He is the President, Coalition of Societies for the Rights of Older Persons. If you just join in, you've not really missed, because we're still talking on NAIRA swap as it affects older persons in Nigeria. Being an older person, you've witnessed one or two NAIRA swaps. How would you say, what would you say in this kind of situation?
From the point of view of law, that our Supreme Court has said, suspend this action until the determination of the case. But as you can see, nobody knows what will happen when the case is determined on the 22nd. Nobody knows whether CBN will accept all that money. However, in this country, we should obey court injunctions at all levels.
Okay, so we're looking at this this cashless policy, and then the bank network. Most people are complaining it's poor, and I'm wondering if young people are complaining about, okay, well, what happens to older persons? Like, do they have any form of training or someone they could actually call, maybe to help them solve this issue? Because I know it's actually a good policy to help even people save and all that. Like, if people in the comfort of their homes, they don't need to leave their houses, I think it's even like better for the older persons to be able to know how to use some of these mediums.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that the time given for this is short.
Okay.
Look at the use of mobile phones now. Many old people have learned how to make calls. Yeah. My mother calls me every day, because somebody has taught her where to press my name and I will get a call, where to press my sister's own. Now, the digital education for older persons is a job to be done by families and by establishments and by the people who need their system to be used.
Okay.
The bank should be able now to devise, provide devices that older persons can use to withdraw money and how it will come to him. That's an education that not only the National Orientation Agency will need to do, but families, children, relations. But understand also that there are older persons without families.
Yeah, that's true.
There are those without children. There are those whose children are abroad. And all they do is send money through somebody. That money is normally not put in the bank. It is warehoused by the old woman either under her wrapper end
they have a pouch,
or
like
a pouch, they tie their rope.
Yes.
Now what would such people do? So I think that the challenge ahead is not only for CSOs and NGOs and those working with older persons like us, it is for the banks, it is for community, and it is for government.
Okay. Nice. We've been speaking and I've been learning a lot from you. But before you go, like a last word for you, for people out there that are watching, like a form of advice or something. Like older persons, I'm sure, are watching. I want to be like you. Like I don't know, you don't even have an issue, but you're actually talking for people who are not actually enlightened like you. So, want a last word for you?
I want to appeal to children of older persons, relations of older persons, and everyone around an older person to help them out at this time. If you need to dash an older person 1,000 naira of the new note, or support that older person with something to live by, that will be appreciated at this time. All hands should be on deck. I know that in Nigeria, Nigerians don't make policies that include older persons, and that's what we have been suffering from. We put together a bill on the rights and privileges of older persons, which the National Assembly signed into law. But unfortunately, till today, the president has refused to sign it. And these are the issues because nobody thinks about the older person. And my appeal is that at this time that older persons are bleeding more than younger people, reach out to an older person in your community or around you and see whether they are eating or not.
Wow. It's been nice talking with you, Senator Ajoku, the president of Coalition of Societies for the Rights of Older Persons in Nigeria. And together we've been talking about the NAIRA swap as it affects older persons in Nigeria. And so far you've told us it's not just your work, it's everybody's collective work. Try to find someone around you, an older person around you, and lend a helping hand, and together we'll see how we'll come out of this situation together. Thank you for coming on the program, sir.
Thank you very much for having me today.
Yes, so we've been talking with him and he has told us a whole lot about the NAIRA swap as it affects older persons. He can't do it alone. The government can't do it alone. We have to put hands together to actually make these things work. Any older person you see around, render any help you can to such a person, and this will go a long way in helping out.